We were talking earlier about, I was just reading about Rocky the Musical.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That has been a long time coming. I thought that this would be a perfect vehicle for a musical because of the 5 characters. Each one is so different. And it was just hard to get off the ground. It really was. And people felt that, well, Rocky, I don't know, perhaps it's a little, it wouldn't translate. Well, finally, we put together a team, and actually a very, very formidable team. And I think, you know what, Tony, it turned out better because after Rocky Balboa succeeded, and I think it gave it a breath of fresh air, and now it's all coming together, and they're going to make a fantastic musical.
And, you know, Rocky Balboa was such a success, and people love to see it come back. You have Rambo coming back. But tell me about what happened down there with the coup, and I don't know much about it. I read some stuff, but I'd rather go to you and ask you.
The day we landed is when Thailand had their coup. I'm seeing all these planes leaving, and here comes one arriving, and that is us. And there were a lot of, you might say, people trying to dissuade us from not doing it. There were a lot of threats to myself, to the crew. The people that had the biggest problem were the Burmese that were in the film. They were warned that if you're in this film, there's going to be terrible repercussions to your families back in Burma, because a lot of them were refugees. Matter of fact, the fellow that plays the bad guy in our movie, who's head of the Burmese brigade that's chasing us, was a former freedom fighter whose family was completely incarcerated. Once he signed up to do the film, they locked up his family back in Burma.
How did he get them back? I mean,
they don't. They don't. They're in that precarious position today. And he says,
is there anything that you can do?
There's not a thing you can do. It is the most oppressive regime on the planet. This is a war that's been going on for 60 years against peasants. It's something that is so uncalled for. And really what it gets down to, Tony, is this little group of Karen. It's a Christian group in a Buddhist world. The missionaries came there 200 years ago. They just happened to have oil, natural gas under their land, and they're being annihilated for it, but they won't give up.
Did you get involved politically at all? I mean, was it
as much as I could, because I thought I didn't want to all of a sudden like, oh, here comes some right.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a lot more than any. I could bring some light to it, and I thought the best way that performers perhaps can help is use their medium. So the film starts out with actual footage, so they see, and people that aren't aware of Burma, how oppressive and dangerous and horrifying it is. It's like a horror film in the first 2 minutes to see what goes down. It is transpiring, and then we segue into our film. So we are providing entertainment. It's I think the best of all the Rambos. I really do.
Really?
Yes, just like I felt at the last Rocky Balboa. As much as the first one was very sentimental, the last one had a lot of weight, a lot of gravitas, because after 30 years, you go through a lot of changes in your own life, and you bring that kind of psychological education and the burden and the tragic losses and just the experience. And the same thing with Rambo. He realizes, as I believe a lot of veterans, that do we really make a difference? We gave our life, our limbs, our friends, and yet we're still at war. We're still antagonistic. So Rambo basically says, war's natural, peace is an accident.
And really, who wins in the end?
Exactly right. And that funny you say that, because that's the last moment when he has to, he looks at the missionary woman.
You're not going to give it away, are you?
No, but I'm just saying it's very, very important that does it ever really end? Or do you just try to get by in your own life and try to make some sense out of that?